Dear Kearns family, we are profoundly grieved, but not entirely surprised, as we share this statement. Since our founding moments, the Kearns Center has focused on providing services, support, and access to students from communities that are systematically underserved in terms of educational access and attainment. Our students, who are from low-income and first-generation college and underrepresented minority heritage backgrounds, often face double barriers of poverty and racism. Their many achievements in life, in higher education and beyond, serve as a lasting reminder that despite the systemic obstacles of hatred and racism, hope is possible. The Kearns Center is committed to serving students to the best of our ability at all times. At this time, amidst a pandemic that is hitting Black communities the hardest in terms of death counts, economic suffering, and sheer emotional toll, we are sympathetic that contents under extreme pressure sometimes explode. The pain and suffering of losing Black lives represents a historical pattern and ongoing injustice. Violence and brutality against unarmed Black citizens is tragic. At this time, we express support for all of our students, past, current, and future. You are our family. We stand with you. We feel your rage, fears, and frustration, and we hear your voices. We also know that you are the promise of a better future for all of us, for the planet even. We will not proceed as normal without recognizing the pain and struggle and hope of this American social moment. Black lives matter. We are here for you no matter what, with support and in solidarity, the Kearns Center. Good afternoon, and welcome to the You Are College Bound show. I wanted to start our show today with that message from our Kearns Center leadership. That, of course, is our message to all of our Kearns Center students, including our Upward Bound and Talent Search students. So we do want you to know that you are appreciated and that you matter. So thank you for being here today. You are college bound also, and we want to make sure you know that today is a special day because it is National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and it's Wear Orange Day. So some of us are wearing orange for that cause, to point out that gun violence is something we want to see come to an end. We see it too often in the news where police are using gun violence unnecessarily against our citizens. Right here in Rochester, we see far too much gun violence. I've lived here most of my life, and for most of us Rochesterians, pretty much all of us have been affected by gun violence in one way or another, with family members or friends being affected. So today is a day to point that out, and we hope that we can all work toward ending that today and every other day. With that being said, welcome to the show to all of our Upward Bound and Talent Search students and anyone else tuning in. It's the You Are College Bound show today on Friday, June 5th, 2020. I am your host, Brady Ferguson, Senior Academic Advisor with our pre-college programs, including Upward Bound and Talent Search. And I'm glad to be here. And let's take a look at the chat, see who else is here today. If you've not yet done so, go ahead, drop your name in the chat so we know that you are here. You could also email it to us or text it to us. The number is 585-301-4488. The email address is upwardbound@ur.rochester.edu, or just drop it in the chat so we know that you're here, and so that we can give you credit for attending. You get 15 big college bound points just for letting us know you're here today. So why not let us know? It'll be worth your while. Let's see who we got here. Top Tier Quan is in the building. Welcome, Jaquan. We appreciate seeing you again. What's the deal, says Armel. Good to see you, Mel. Lark Squad is here. I think that's Shamil. Glad you made it, Shamil. Appreciate you. And look at this. Sumaya Yuwu. Virtual Hug is here. Glad you're here, Sumaya. I think this might be the first time I've seen you here live, and I think I might know why you're here, but most importantly, I appreciate you being here, and we think this will be a good show. We have some important valuable information to share, so we will do our best to make it worth your while for all of you who are here today. So I'll say one more time, if someone just tuned in, make sure to drop your name in the chat, send us a text, email, so we can give you those 15 college-bound points. Also, we encourage you to participate on social media. We ask that you put a hashtag on it, URTrioWorks, and later in the show, if we see any especially good posts on Facebook, any especially good tweets, any good Insta photos or stories, we will share those on the show later if we see anything especially good. So feel free to post about it. Just use that hashtag. That's all we ask. Now, I mentioned that you can get 15 college-bound points for attending today, and there are still plenty of other ways for earning those college-bound points as we continue our virtual programming this spring. In addition to our weekly UR College Bound show, we're doing our weekly advising with students, so just make sure you're responding to your Upward Bound advisor, whether that's by phone, text, social media, email, whatever you prefer. Our UR Success Academy has finished. That ended last week, but of course our staff is available. If you need help with your schoolwork, just contact us, let us know, and we can set that up. Our Level Up programming on Instagram continues, so check that out for your Workout Wednesday, your FaceTime Friday. Easy ways to earn some college-bound points there. Our book club is in the midst of reading Stamped, and I've heard that one is going pretty well, good book. So we have the book club, and we have our coding club, which is not tomorrow. It will be next Saturday, the second and fourth Saturday of the month. But in between, we have plenty of coding modules you can work on your own as you design your own video game. That's the coding project this spring. So you can still get on the coding club. And then we have our art club on Monday night on Instagram. Sorry we had to cancel this past Monday, but we're planning on getting that back going this coming Monday. So art club. So plenty of ways to participate, plenty of ways to earn some more college-bound points. Just taking a look at the chat here. Oh, the Stappers are here. Don't worry, we're here. Marifer is here. And there's some others here, so don't worry, we're here. Kavon is not able to join us this week. She sends her regards, though, to all of our students. She misses you. You'll see her again soon. Now, hopefully you know that those college-bound points are not for nothing. You can earn some nice incentives with those. If we look back to who are college-bound points incentives earners, or top college-bound points earners for the school year through March, they all got a nice little treat from Grubhub. There they are. Idalis, Aroma, Cody, Jason, Upward Bound Man jumped in there, of course. He's always scoring top points. Then for the month of April, we had another set of top points earners. Sharon Matthews got this nice Finders Seekers STEM kit where it's like a game, and it was Hawaii, but they have different places and locations where you get information, and there's a game. It's a little fun little kit you get sent right to your house. General Lindsay got this nice virtual game console, which he is now using to play the game that he's designing in Coding Club. So how about that? Playing the video game that he designed himself. That's pretty cool. I think it is. Kaisha Taylor was our top points earner for the seniors. And I should say General was for the sophomores. Sharon was for freshmen. Kaisha got a nice little Dogtown plate from Grubhub, courtesy of Grubhub. And for the 11th graders, we had Jordan Lindo. He went with the Pontillo's pizza, but as you can see here, he should have ordered the mild wings. Now, in the month of April, Sharon Matthews was our one student who surpassed 100 college-bound points in that month. So she has already earned herself that next limited edition exclusive Upward Bound t-shirt, custom designed. I can't tell you the colors yet, but we're going to be dropping that soon. And all you need is 100 college-bound points total from April moving on to earn that shirt. So I think we have some more students who hit that 100-point mark in May. And next week on the UR College Bound Show, we will be revealing who those top points earners were for the month of May. And you'll be earning a nice little treat, Grubhub surprise, or something else for you for earning those top points. So keep working on earning those points. And nice job to all of you who have been keeping up with that. Who else is here? EGDW11. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Oh, wait. Oh, yes, I do. He put it in here. Sorry about that. If I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize, but I think it's Eagley. Welcome to the show, Eagley. We're glad you're checking it out today. Welcome to Upward Bound, one of our newer Upward Bound students. Glad to have you here, and we appreciate you coming. Felicia's here. Yeah, as I said, there are some other staff here. Never fear, staff is here. And Marcy is here, says, hey, hey. Marcy, I'm sorry, I'm not sure who Marcy Kiki is, or if I'm saying that wrong. So if you could just drop your government, you don't have to put the middle name, maybe just first and last name, or a name I'll recognize in the chat so we can give you those college-bound points. Or as I said before, if you'd rather not have your identity known, you can just send a text or send an email so we can give you your credit, your college-bound points for attending today. But we do appreciate you being here. Thank you for tuning in. Last announcement for today is we have a very important meeting coming up on Tuesday, next Tuesday, June 9th. You can tune in right here on our YouTube channel, or you can join the Zoom meeting if you want to do it that way. But we will be talking about our summer program, which will be virtual, will be a little different from past years, but it will be worth your while. We have a lot of good content, activities, opportunities planned for you this summer. So make sure to come to our meeting next Tuesday, June 9th, 6:30 to 7:30. Tell your parents too. They're invited. Tell your friends, and we hope to see you then. Aisha is here today. We have very strong Said family representation today. We'd like to see that. Thank you for tuning in, Aisha. Now today, we have a very special guest, but before we get to that guest, we are going to go straight to the SAT questions to give you another chance to earn college-bound points. You get a question right, you get 5 college-bound points. And it's multiple choice, so you can just guess, no penalty for guessing wrong. And what do you have? So what do you have to lose? And you have 5 college-bound points to gain. So I'm going to start the clock here. You got 2 minutes for our math question today. As you see here, you text the answer to 585-301-4488, or you could email it to upwardbound@ur.rochester.edu. You could also put it in the chat if you want. But the thing with that is, then someone else might see it and steal your answer. But then you might be wrong, so they might steal the wrong answer. So you can do the chat too if you want. But clock's ticking, minute and a half. I'll read the question too, and the 4 answer choices, but it's multiple choice. Dimitri is helping to plan the school talent show. Each performer for the talent show has 6 minutes for his or her performance, which includes transition time between performances. If the introduction for the talent show is 24 minutes long, and the entire show, including the introduction, will last 150 minutes, how many different performances can the talent show accommodate? Is it A, 21, B, 24, C, 25, or D, 29? Less than 1 minute left. Clock is ticking. Sorry, Aisha. Gonna have to wait for that guess. Gotta do these SAT questions first. Also similar to PSAT questions, which all of you should be taking in October, and then you'll be taking the SAT later on. Looks like someone already put a potential answer in the chat. There are a lot of numbers. Yeah, math usually involves numbers. Don't let the numbers scare you. They try to scare you. They try to intimidate you, but they're not that scary. They're just numbers. Not all that different from letters. Coming up on the time. I saw 1 answer in the chat. I'm going to check the email, check the text, see if anyone sent anything that way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. We had a couple people say C. Oh, let me get out of the way here. Sorry. Jaquan says C. Shamil said C. Let's see what the answer is. Were they correct? Let's find out. Wah, wah, wah. I'm sorry about that, but the answer is A, 21. The explanation is on the screen here. I'll explain it briefly. Basically, it's an algebra question. You design a little equation and then figure out the missing number, which is actually a letter in algebra. 6p plus 24 equals 150. So you solve it. 6p equals 126, and p equals 21. So the talent show can accommodate 21 performances. I gave you 2 minutes on the SAT. If you break down the time, that's for the SAT math section. Well, there are 2 sections, but if you break it down, you get about 1 minute, 15 seconds per question. Now, some questions will take longer than others. Usually the word problems may take a little bit longer. I gave you 2 minutes today, so it should have been enough time, but it is a challenging test. That's why they give it to students, right? They don't want to make it too easy for you. But thank you, everyone, for trying. Oh, Jaquan, you didn't notice the 24 minutes. Sorry about that. They make it tricky. They don't want to make it easy. So it's a reading test more than anything else. Even the math sections on the SAT test your reading just as much as the math. But let's move on to an English question. You still have a chance to earn 5 college-bound points. And for this question, I'm going to give you 1.5 minutes, or a minute and a half. Start the clock. This is actually a writing question. There are both reading and writing questions on the SAT. But if you look, there's a sentence, there's an underlined part of the sentence, and you need to decide if that should be changed or if it should stay as is. It may need to be changed for a grammatical reason or for some other reason, and you need to decide. So Henrietta's flock of backyard chickens produced more eggs than her neighborhood. Is it A, no change? Should that sentence just stay as it is? That would be A, no change if you think that. Is it B, the rest of the neighborhood's chickens? C, her suburb? Or D, her friend Sean? Let's see, Jaquan thinks he may know what it is. Aisha thinks she might know. You put it in the chat. You could text it or email it also. 30 seconds. $20 seconds. No penalty for a wrong answer. Take a guess. Take a shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Somebody said that. 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Time is up. Let's see. Hold on, I gotta disappear for a second. Let me check the email. See if anyone sent answer by email. Nope. Text? No. But we got a couple in the chat. Jaquan said B. And we also had another student who went with B. Aisha went with B. Let's see if they got it. Ding, 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 ding. They got it. Nice work. Our live studio audience is going to give a big round of applause to Aisha and Jaquan. 5 college-bound points for both of you. Or should I just split it 2.5, 2.5? Nah, 5 for both of you. You both get the 5. So let's take a look at the explanation here. B. This choice correctly compares 2 like terms, flock and chickens. Henrietta's flock of backyard chickens produced more eggs than her neighborhood. That's not correct. It should say Henrietta's flock of backyard chickens produced more eggs than the rest of the neighborhood's chickens. Right? Chickens want to have that matching. So, nice job to Aisha and Jaquan. Sorry, Shamil, I didn't see you soon enough. But thank you for participating. Aisha's pretty happy with herself. She should be. Nice job. So those are your SAT questions for the day. Now I know 2 practice questions is not nearly enough for you, but never fear. More SAT questions are here. For all of our 10th graders, this is our Khan Academy class code to join our 10th grade Khan Academy class. For any of our students, Khan Academy is a great resource for practicing for the SAT. It's also good for learning a lot of different subjects, especially math, but we find it's especially good for the SAT, and we have a class set up. So if you go on Khan Academy, and you can just log in with your school email account, because you go to khanacademy.org, log in with your school Gmail account. When you do log in with Google, boom, you're in. And then you do add coach or join class, and you just put in this code, GMKYASA6, and then you'll be in our 10th grade class. And for each hour you work on Khan Academy, we'll give you 5 College Bound points, up to 15 College Bound points per week. So another easy way to earn College Bound points and to improve your abilities for taking that SAT. For 9th graders, for other grade levels, we have separate classes. So Aisha and any students not in 10th grade, you could text us a message, email, and we'll get you that link for joining our class for the appropriate grade level. But Khan Academy, great way for getting more SAT practice, because just 2 questions a week not going to do much with improving your score, but 3 hours a week will get you 15 College Bound points and will boost that score. So thank you all for participating today. Time to move on to our alum interview. Now our alum today is probably someone that our audience knows. 2 people watching know him pretty well, but some of the rest of you know him too because he worked as a program assistant with us last summer. He's a Wilson alum, class of 2018. He currently attends the University of Rochester and will be graduating from the U of R 2022. So I'm going to bring him on now. Let's give a warm welcome for Abduljabbar Said. And our live studio audience is going wild. So Abdul, thank you for coming on the show today. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing really good. I usually just spend my day working on Python and teaching my little brother his ABCs and all of that. So just living.
Okay.
How about you?
Well, that sounds good. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Python, for those who maybe are not into coding and don't know what that is, can you tell us a little bit more about what Python is and what you're doing with it, but also how it's been with a little brother and what you've been up to there?
All right. So Python is a computer program that you use to code. And this is actually like my 3rd time learning Python because I learned it in a course that I took in my freshman year. Second time I relearned it was in my sophomore fall because I was a teaching assistant for my professor. And I'm just really trying to just master it so I'm able to do anything with Python, and I don't really have to study it, and with learning Python, it really gives you a lot of opportunities such as careers, in the software development field. And for example, Verizon, that's one of the main programs that they use to code.
Got it. Thank you for giving us a little more on that. Especially
Yeah.
good info for those who may not be familiar with the coding. So Abdul, I gotta say, you're getting a lot of reaction in the chat here. Aisha
Oh
said,
yeah.
"Oh yeah," and then just yeah. Ismi Rose. I think I might know who that is, but I want to say it out loud because I might be wrong. But they said they knew it. They knew it was going to be you somehow. Mel said, "My son." I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but
Me neither.
Eagle going with the round of applause. Ismi Rose giving you 3 rounds of applause. Sumaya loves the background. And let's see. What else we got here? Shamil said, I. And I think what they love even more than the background, Abdul, look at this. Jaquan says, got the beard going on now.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm trying.
Ismi Rose says the quarantine beard. And Marifer is just LOLing at that, as is Amber. That's what I thought it was, Amber. I didn't want to say it though, but Amber, welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Glad you made it. So a lot of positive reaction for Abdul here. Good. Keep it coming. And actually, questions is what we're looking for even more than that. So students, if you have any questions you want to ask Abdul, not so much about the beard or the background, but more about the Python, about college, drop it in the chat and I'll share your questions with him. But while I'm waiting on those, I have plenty of questions myself. Let me start with this. Our main topic for today, Abdul, is self-care in college, making sure to take care of your mental health, emotional health. So let me ask you this. What are some emotional or mental health related resources that are available to you on your college campus?
On campus, so the main ones like that the students use are like care. So this is something that you could report on your friends if they're not doing so well. And advisors, or yeah, many advisors or slash counselors and professors will like get this care report and notice that they're one of their students are not doing so well. Like I even had to report one of my friends, like I believe in my freshman year, uh, because he was going through some things. So that's really good. So helps others to be aware. Then UCC, which is the University Counseling Center, and it's under the University Health Services. So it's in person, and you have an appointment and talk to them about your problems, and they're just there for support. But the two that I use, I'm not even like joking around, is the Current Center and the Office of Minority Student Affairs, because those are like they're really like people who really understands me and knows my background and knows where I come from. So it's just easier for me to talk to them, you know.
Oh, great. Well, thank you for sharing all that, Abdul. A lot of different resources, and I'm glad you've been able to take advantage of those. Now, for the students, the names of some of these different offices and places will be different at each college, but most colleges have similar resources, but they're not all the same. Not every college has a Kern Center or something just like that. So make sure when you're searching for a college that's going to be a good fit for you, make sure you're not just looking at the classes and the class sizes, the majors, but also those support resources available to you because those can make a big difference. We have a question here from Amber Abdul, and she says, so are you on campus doing work still, or are you online like everyone else?
Oh, we started being online about middle of March. So just like everyone else, like once that wave hit, then everything was online for us.
Yeah. And how has that experience been for you doing the online work?
I'm not gonna lie, classes most definitely became much easier, and my professors started being a little bit more lenient with grading. But it's just I just miss the feeling of being inside a classroom and learning hands on, you know.
Okay. So it got easier in ways, but it also just wasn't quite the same, and you missed having that hands-on in-class learning. I
Hmm.
think a lot of our students, college and high school students, are feeling similar about that. Now, you mentioned Kern Center, OMSA, UCC. Any other places or any other spaces that make you feel safe and heard on your college campus? Not necessarily an office or department, but just safe spaces on the campus.
I'll most definitely say the Douglas Leadership House, which is the place where I live in currently, and it has everybody who basically looks like me, a bunch of minority students who comes together, and there's a whole bunch of history with the house that I will probably talk about later. But like I'm really close with everyone there, and they're really supportive. So they're like a shoulder that I can lean on.
Okay, good. I'm glad you have that support there in the house, the Douglas Leadership House. I'd actually like to ask you to go ahead now, tell us a little bit more about the house. But in addition, any other student groups on campus that you find are helpful for you when you need to de-stress?
All right. So the Douglas Leadership House, it's mainly an it's a house where I'll say it's a social justice house for minority students to have their voice on campus, and just like a place where they could feel at home as well. Just to like generalize it, you know.
Okay. Besides the group of students at DLH, any other student groups on campus you've been involved with that you found helpful for de-stressing?
Oh, I forgot. My my organization, which I'm the vice president of, the National Society of Black Engineers. Yeah, like every single time I go there, it feels like I'm at home, you know, and it's like a place where I belong. Everybody looks like me. Some of them act similar to me, and it's like everyone is just heartwarming and cares for one another. So it just honestly feels good.
Okay. That sounds good. And congratulations on being vice president there. That's great. We love seeing our upward bound alumni moving on to positions of leadership and bigger things there. So that's great to hear that you're vice president, but also that you have that support there for you. Now, how about this?
Thank you.
Do you see any, or what room for improvement do you see on the U of R campus? Or let me ask it this way: how would you want your campus to better serve your mental slash emotional needs or those of your peers? And not just related to stress that comes from classes, but any stress that comes from being on that college campus and issues that come up. How would you like to see improvement at the U of R?
Uh, well, even though on my campus, suicide hasn't been a big thing so far, but recently, not recently, but like I think in the beginning of the 2019 fall semester, like there was a student who attempted to commit suicide, and I believe that we need like more help on that particular end of mental health and emotional health, because you honestly don't know what someone is going through, because of course like school is most definitely going to impact somebody's like mental and emotional health, but they're not we don't really think about the social part and how they live like behind school, you know.
Okay, so sounds like there's still some room for improvement. Some good resources available, but
Mm.
still some room for improvement, especially for those students who are having. Sounds like maybe students dealing with depression, suicidal thoughts, those types of issues. Would you say that's right?
Right.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for sharing that. We actually have a bunch of questions in the chat. I'm going to try to see if I can get to all of them. Felicia said they're great questions, but let me go back to Amber, who wanted to know how your online tests are going or how they went.
They went pretty well because my professor for my video game history class, he actually said this was a test that we can take by like with using our notes, and just it's like an open book test basically. And there are 25 multiple choice questions, so it was just easy to like look back at our questions. And he gave us so much time just to take it. So like about an hour and a half for 25 questions. So it was really good. And since teachers are more lenient, my grade ended up being so much better. Well, not so much, but slightly better.
Okay.
Mm.
Sounds like the online test went well. Glad to hear that. We have another question. This one is from Aisha.
Oh
How
my
do you
gosh.
avoid procrastination?
Oh, how do I avoid it? All right. So this was something. Which upper bound advisor told me this? I'm trying to think. It was probably Gina, and she told Gina and Brady. Yes, it was you two. It was back when I was at Wilson, and even at U of R. You guys told me to, you know, create a Google Calendar or an agenda just to put what I'm gonna do for the day, and just to make sure like don't leave it all to the last minute. I just schedule out my time.
Glad that's helpful. Glad we were able to give some useful advice. That's what we try to do. Next,
Mhm.
this one is from Armel. What are you going to do after college?
What I'm planning on doing after college? Well, there's multiple options I have. I'm not sure what exactly I want to do, but most likely I'm trying to go into the software development field and work for a Fortune 500 engineering company, or I might try to pursue my master's in business, so I could be like more well-rounded, you know, because right now is that I'm majoring in digital media studies and I'm minoring in computer science, and I'm planning on doing a dual minor in Islamic studies only because it comes out of my cluster with Arabic, and I already took an anthropology cluster. And one of the anthropology classes, sorry, it's so off track right now, but
No, it's fine. Keep going.
my anthropology class, one of my anthropology classes was anthropology and Muslim societies, which I just took this semester. And I'm planning on taking the 3 Arabic classes, the anthropology and Muslim societies, and adding 2 more classes, which is like Arabian Nights and history of Islam, just to make that a minor.
No, and Abdul, I appreciate you going into that and telling more about those classes and some of these different paths you're traveling there. Now, I remember when you were in high school, I don't remember you talking about all of that when you were in high school. Some of it, the engineering definitely, but not all of that. So how have your interests changed or evolved as a college student?
Oh, it changed completely. Oh my gosh. Because back when I was in high school, I used to say, oh, computer science sucks. I don't even like this stuff. I want to become a mechanical engineer. Yeah, college. First semester of a college, I'm telling you, like, it just kicked me. It was like, imagine like a Conor McGregor punch. That's how it was. And I chose to drop mechanical engineering and switch my major, and I didn't know what to switch to. So one of my friends advised me to like try to look into computer science, and he showed me the work that he was doing. Then I was thinking like, oh, I did this stuff before, and it kind of seemed much easier to me. So I took the Python class. Then I gained a lot more interest. Then for digital media studies, it's kind of comes from computer science. The reason why I'm taking it, and I want to also like learn more things such as like audio music engineering, and I don't want to be down to one small path. I just want to be well rounded and learn everything. Such as video game design, sound design, mobile app development, and all of that.
Great. Well, that's all good stuff. And thank you for sharing that. For our high school students, it's not uncommon at all for students to develop new interests and for your interest you already had to change or develop when you're in college, and that's okay. It's a good time to figure it out. All right, I got one more student question here, and I don't want to try to interpret it, so I'll just read what it says. How you feel? That's from Shamil. Yeah, that's a question from Shamil. How you feel?
I feel pretty good right now. Just at ease, relaxed, having a good time because family's around, and I have like a army of family because I have 7 siblings, so seeing a lot of faces every day.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's all the student questions. If I missed your question, I'm sorry, but I think I got to all of them. So before you go, Abdul, last thing, do you have any final words or advice or anything else you want to share with our students and viewers today?
I most definitely want to say, don't be afraid to try something new. Stars and one thing that's really important, don't ever quit because something's too hard. Because if you just quit, you're not gonna find out how good you really are, or you're not gonna find your true potential in that specific thing.
Great. Well, thank you. That's good advice there. Thank you for coming on the show today. We appreciate it, Abdul, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Got it. And a big round of applause from our live studio audience there for Abdul. So good advice there. Don't be afraid to try something new and don't quit. So we appreciate Abdul coming on today. Good advice. And now it's time to keep moving. Next up today, we have a little poll question related to our topic of the day, which is self-care. So I'm going to bring academic advisor Marifer Costa on, and she's going to explain our poll question for today. So Marifer, take it away.
Hi Brady, or hi everyone. So this week, Felicia and I and Brady and all of us wanted to focus on mental health. And so the poll question, if I can find it, wow, already, I'm a mess. Okay, nope, that's not it. There it is. Okay, what are you doing for your mental health and to take care of yourself? That's the poll question. So the instructions for the poll should be on here. Yeah, so you can text upward bound about 659 to the number 22333. So two twos and three threes. Or you can go to pollev.com and then enter upward bound 659 and text your response. And we'll be back later to talk about the answers to that.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Marifer. So students, make sure to respond to that poll question because we do want to know what you think and what you have to say about this. But while we're waiting for those answers, I'm going to bring on Felicia Heidemann, another academic advisor, along with Marifer. And we're going to have a little discussion about our topic of the day. So Felicia, welcome. And Marifer,
Hi,
now all
everyone.
three of us are here together. So how are you both doing today?
Good. It's Friday. Love a good Friday.
And
Happy
thank God it's
Friday.
right.
So as Marifer said, we wanted to take some time this week to talk about self-care and our mental health, but also as a lot of you are going to start looking a little bit more seriously at colleges, especially our 10th graders who are going to be 11th graders. And even if you're one of our 9th graders and you're still starting to think about it, we want to give you some tools and talk to you a little bit about what Brady said, where it's not just looking at what classes are you going to take, what is the size, academics, those are important, but also what are colleges going to do for you and help support you as a student, but also as a human. So Abdul did a really good job giving some resources that exist on college campuses, but we want to share some more that he might have not included or ones that maybe we had good experience with. So Brady and Marifer, can you think of any that you would like to add to what Abdul already suggested?
So for me, when I was in college, seems so long ago, but I was part of cultural groups that really helped me. So Abdullah mentioned a lot of academic groups. Sometimes I wanted to get away from the academics and just be around people who were from similar backgrounds as me, or like I'm from New York City. A lot of them were from New York City too. Just people that I had things in common with. And that I was also experiencing something similar to them in the college environment that I was in having classes, in like explaining everything to our parents, and like anything really, they were the people I could turn to.
Yeah, for me, and actually let me just share a few things before I get into it. We have some students excited to see Marifer and Felicia. Amber give the big yay and some round of applauses, and Aisha, OMG, hi. Shamil put a nice little smiley emoji on here. But also I want to share Felicia's chat here that the link to that poll is under the video in the description on YouTube. So as we're talking, please go ahead, fill out that poll, answer the poll question. It shouldn't take that long, and we're not offended if you're answering that poll question while you're talking. You can still hear what we're saying. But for me, in college, I really depended on my peers and other students, my friends, for support. And a lot of those people were people who were in groups that I was in, similar to what you've already heard today. But I was on the track team in college. And if you think you were in college a long time ago, Marifer, I graduated in 2006. That's nothing. But I was on the track team in college, and our teammates, we really supported each other because there's some additional stresses that come along with being a college athlete and a student at the same time. So having that support from teammates was important. I was also fortunate to have roommates that I got along with well and had good relationships with, so we could support each other. But I also want to mention that at the college I went to, University of Pennsylvania, I didn't see a lot of people who had a similar background to myself as far as being from Rochester, being from an urban area. So sometimes it was depending on my friends back home, where I just call my friend from home, or I was lucky sometimes my friends would come visit me on campus, so that helped too.
Thank you. I also want to add in there that when I was in college, I also had a few jobs on campus, and I actually really turned to my supervisors. They got that I was a student and working. So I had a really good support system with like my professors, but they were, they cared about me as a student, but they cared about like a lot of my grades, and that's what our conversations were. But at my job, it was also, yeah, I'm an employee, but they want to make sure I'm okay, because if I'm not, then I'm not going to do a good job while I'm on my shift. So as you can tell from us, as you can tell from Abdul, there's a lot of people on colleges' campuses that are there to support you, and it's going to look a little different for everyone else where that support lies. But as we are on this topic of self-care in college, what were some things you guys did during college to take care of yourselves? I know Brady mentioned talking to his friends. Marifer said things about being in groups. But were there things that you like actually did? Like, did you go to the movies or do anything fun for yourself?
So before I answer that question, I did want to say that training to jobs is very, very true. I worked for the Kern Center. I was lucky in that. And I can't tell you how many times Kevon was like, you don't look well. You're probably sick. Go home. And it's like, sometimes it takes somebody to realize or to tell you like, maybe you're not doing so well. Like, take care of yourself. And what I did to take care of myself in college, which sometimes I didn't do because of classwork or I was busy doing something, was sleep. Number one was sleep. I took naps. I remember I would set alarm for 10-minute naps, and you don't understand how helpful those 10-minute naps were. I would sleep in the Kern Center. You guys probably saw me sometimes sleeping in the Kern Center. But I also would I'm very into physically self-care, so I would do my hair, do my makeup, or do my nails, and that was just some time that I could take for myself, that I could be doing something for my benefit, and just it was fun, and I liked the result of it. Yeah,
I'd say the sleep is important, but I'll say something else. I think having a healthy diet can make a big difference as well. And at college, it's very easy to eat a bunch of junk. You go in that dining hall and you can have whatever you want, and you could just eat ice cream sundaes all day. But I always made a point, and I was kind of forced to because I was on the track team. I had to eat well, but I made it a point to every night go get myself start with a nice big salad, make sure I get some healthy nutrition in my body, and I think that helped.
Awesome. So something that was kind of strange for me going into college is my self-care was always reading. I always liked reading books because it gave me like a little escape from the world, and I've just always been a big book person. But at college, my major was English literature as well as political science, which required reading. So there were weeks where I'd be reading 3 or 4 books a week for class. So it was interesting at college because I had to find a new way to practice self-care, because reading for a while wasn't fun for me because it was just work. So that's when I actually learned that I like to play music, and so I joined the xylophone ensemble at Brockport. So that I just want to say that to point out that as you grow, you're going to discover new interests, and what you need to do for yourself is going to change, and that's okay. So don't be afraid to try new things, and sort of like what Abdul was saying a little bit earlier, where you never know until you're going to like it until you try it. So just give it a try. But that's really great that we can talk to you about what we did for self-care and to take care of ourselves. But now, as like I said, you're looking for colleges, we just wanted to share some things, maybe questions or other sort of things to look for when you're on a college campus, when you're researching college campuses, to see what they are doing for their students. So I don't know if maybe Marifer or Brady, you want to jump in with like a tip or two?
So I think something that I would suggest is looking at student groups that you identify with. Like Abdul has NSB, National Society of Black Engineers. It's a chapter at the U of R. I had SALSA, Spanish and Latino Student Association. There's so many cultural groups Islam groups. Like if you can think of a group, it probably exists on a college campus. And if you can't, there's definitely ways for you to start your own group that might interest other students, that might help other students, and could help you find a community. Because I think it's very nice to have support back home, but it's very important to have support on your campus.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Finding that community and support is important. So when you're researching colleges, look for those student groups that are there, but also what types of programs or offices are there. Abdul mentioned the Kern Center at the U of R, and as I said, not every college or no other colleges have the Kern Center, but other colleges might have a multicultural center, intercultural center. They might have a TRIO student support services program, a TRIO McNair program. So there are other types of programs, but make sure to do your research and find out which colleges have the support and have the community that will help you be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a tip that I was given when I was in high school was like go onto Google and Google the name of the college and then go to Google News and see what the college's news or stories are. Are they all negative? Are they positive? And especially in the climate that we are now with COVID and all the events of the past weekend and the Black Lives Matter movement, you can see how colleges are supporting their students during this based on press releases, based on what they're putting out. So that's another thing to think about too, is when big events happen, see how these colleges are responding. And that can be either talking to students, who go there, or looking up and seeing where they're showing up in the news. And with that, thank you all for joining us. And I believe we're ready to move on to another message from our advisors.
Yeah, thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Marifer. And our studio audience is going wild here. Thank you both. Next, we have a message that includes some tips from a few of our other advisors, so you'll probably recognize them. But I want to mention, I do recognize you. I see you, Jaquan. East High for Life. I see you, Mel. Just want to make sure you know I see you there. But let's see what our other advisors have to say.
I first want to start by saying whatever emotions you're feeling, it's okay. We have so much going on right now. We've been in quarantine for a few months. We may be concerned and unable to see our friends and family. And on top of that, our country is now coming to face some really ugly racial injustices. What I'm doing to make sure I'm taking care of my mental health during this time is, while I'm going on social media to become informed, active, and engaged, I'm also taking intentional breaks. Social media can be filled with a lot of noise that really stresses me out because it feels like there's just so much and I'm unable to consume it all. So while I put my phone aside and take those breaks, I'm picking up some books that'll help inform me and make me into a better ally.
Some things that I use to help me cope with any mental health issues or any strong emotions, which lately has been rage, lots of rage that I've been feeling. I always turn to music personally. Music always puts the feelings that I can't explain into words, so that, I can get my feelings out by listening to the music, and the music always calms me down, and what I listen to always depends on how I'm feeling that day. But yeah, it's always been my helpful tool and my go-to tool for helping me deal with mental health issues, my emotions.
Some things that I do for my mental health, especially this past week, has been making sure I get enough sleep, because without my sleep, I'm not 100% myself and I really don't have anything positive about me. And then I also love to read books, and currently I'm reading 2 books because I like a balance between my fantasy novel, where I get to escape the world for a little bit, and also my nonfiction novel, because I like to learn new things and I feel stronger and powerful when I increase my knowledge.
Some of the things that I like to do to de-stress is make art. I like to color, paint, things that'll keep my hands busy but my mind clear. I've also been working out. Here's my yoga mat. I've been trying to meditate, trying to just clear my mind, try to be at peace. I've also have been reading, and I think one of them that's really important in staying off of social media for given times, because there's just like a lot going on, and it can get very intense and it can become a lot to process.
Hey everybody, I learned this 2-3-4 breathing technique, which can be a good coping strategy. And all you do is breathe in for 2 seconds, hold your breath for 3 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. I found this to be helpful for recentering myself or just calming myself down at those moments when I need to.
So there it is, some advice from some of our other advisors. We hope you found some of that useful. Don't have to take everyone's advice, but maybe one or two of those techniques or strategies will work for you. Looks like we have some responses to our poll. So I'm going to share those so you can see what some of your classmates and see what other students said. And I'm going to let Felicia go ahead and talk about those. Go ahead, Felicia.
All right. Well, thank you for writing in, those of you who sent in some answers. And I see some really good suggestions here. So starting from the bottom, talk to my family or friends or take a good look at myself and what I want to improve on. I like that. Some self-reflection. Reading when you're sad because it takes your mind off it for the time being. Other times I listen to music and try to relax. So I don't really take care of it. I just distract myself. And honestly, sometimes a distraction is what you need. I know I read my like fantasy books and stuff for distraction. And sometimes that's what you need to give your mind a break. Then make sure you give yourself breaks. Yes, usually reward yourself with something like reading after a long day of work. Yeah, I mean, we do a lot every day. So good. Take breaks, give yourself rewards. And we also have do something fun like play sports or talk to my homeboys. Shout out to Quan. We had the UB Live game on lock. East High for L. I think that means for life. Good. Yeah, get active. Move your body. Sometimes your physical health is a direct, feeder or direct place where your emotional and mental health come from. So you want to make sure you're taking care of your physical health as well. So all really good answers. Thank you all for sending them in.
Yes, thank you everybody, and thank you Felicia for going through those with us. All right, so we're coming down the home stretch here, almost 5 o'clock. But before we go, I just want to address a couple questions we got here. Or just one question, I think. Marifer loves the energy, by the way. And Jaquan, this isn't really a question, but he gave a shout out to Mel. I think the question is, whatever happened to Demi? Demi is still a University of Rochester student. From what I know, I haven't been in touch with her lately, but she will not be working with us this summer. She worked with us during the school year, but not this summer. She has other things she's up to, but hopefully we'll see her again in the fall. All right, so just before we close here, students, if you want another 10 college-bound points, or if you don't want them, either way, we have an assignment for you. The assignment for this week is to find out how a college of your choice has responded to COVID or the protest Black Lives Matter movement, etc., etc. Find something, an event going on, a major issue, and find out how a college responded to it. You can choose which college, you can choose which issue or event, but we are just trying to encourage you to do a little research and look at how colleges handle other issues besides just the academics. So that is your challenge for the week. If you complete it, just send a little email, text message. You can call one of us with your response to that, and you'll get 10 college-bound points. So that's all you got to do. Just a little college research and let us know what you find out. Once again, if you did not yet do so, I think everyone did, but if you did not yet do so, make sure you send an email, text message, or chat your name so we can give you attendance credit, so we can give you those 15 College Bound points for tuning in today. Make sure that you are paying attention to those remind messages because we send out some important information that way. Make sure you're responding to Upward Bound Academic Advisors. We appreciate it. Next week, we have our summer town hall meeting on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. You can tune in on this YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you feel so inclined. But also next Friday, which is June 12th, we have our 11th grade episode of the College Bound Show, the You Are College Bound Show, excuse me. And then Friday, June 19th, we are having our senior celebration. All of you are invited, of course. All students are invited, but we are celebrating our seniors on Friday, June 19th. So that's it for this week. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Say one more comment here. All right, from Amber, we do appreciate you all being here. And have a good day and a great weekend.